Hey guys, so today we're going to be reading A New Spin on a Space Horse. But before we read that, as always, and I know it's been a while since I've done a video with us, we want to first identify the genre. Now, while we're going to be doing that, I want you to be thinking about all the different story elements of each genre as they apply to the story that we're reading. Okay, think about your visuals. Are there illustrations or diagrams? Identify if there's dialogue. Are there subtitles? Do you see headings? All those key text features that we know in nonfiction and fiction texts. So, as I said, take the next couple seconds to identify the genre. So, you should have been able to identify that this was a nonfiction text. Now, the way that I knew this was nonfiction was as I skimmed through, I saw headings. I didn't see any dialogue. And at the very beginning, I saw a picture that had a caption. And all those key text features told me that this was nonfiction. And with it being nonfiction, that means that we have three different genre based thinking jobs. And right now, I want you to take the next 10 seconds to think about what those are. And we really should be pretty good with these by now. And you should have been able to tell me that it is the big topic, what the text was teaching you, and what was the point of view. Now remember, when I ask you what is the main idea, after you read, you don't just tell me in one sentence what you think it is. You tell me what was the text teaching you, what was the big topic, and what was the point of view. So there's three different things that you'll have to write when you do main idea. If you try turning in one sentence, you're not going to get credit for it. Now, make sure also that as I'm reading, you are taking notes. Now, you remember when we were in class, it's been a while, okay? You fold, then you have your title, your different jobs, and then your notes in the bottom. So you want to be taking notes as I'm reading. You want to take about one note every couple paragraphs, and definitely at least one or two per section. So then that way, when you go back, and you're answering your questions and you're writing your answers, you can go back to your notes. It helps with the evidence. So I'm going to read, and we'll get started with questions afterwards. A new spin on a space horse. This cloud in outer space is turning to face us. In this informational text, Ken Croswell, PhD, discusses the Horsehead Nebula, an interesting feature in space. As you read, take notes on what astronomers have observed about the Horsehead Nebula. Clouds in the sky can look like rabbits, bears, and lions. They may even look like people. These clouds are made of water and ice. Much farther away, other clouds are scattered through outer space. These clouds are not made of water, but like clouds in the air, they can also make familiar shapes. In fact, one space cloud looks like a horse. Now astronomers have found out why it has that shape. The cloud is spinning. So now, looking to that picture to the right, how does that picture support or add the information that we just read in the text? Take a minute to think about that. All right. A giant game piece. This cloud in the Horsehead is the Horsehead Nebula. Nebula is the Latin word for cloud. It looks like a black knight in a chess game. It's eerie and haunting, one of the most famous clouds in space. Like other space clouds, the Horsehead Nebula is made mostly of hydrogen and helium gas. the two lightest and most common elements in the universe. These gases are clear. Light goes through them. Light goes right through them. So why is the horse head black? Dust particles, made mostly of heavier elements, pepper the clear gas and block visible light. The gas and dust in the Horsehead Nebula do not make any light that your eye can see, but the gas makes radio waves. Now we can detect using special telescopes called radio telescopes. You can't look through a radio telescope the way you look through a normal telescope. Instead, the radio telescope is a giant, dish-shaped antenna. In 2003, astronomers in Europe used a big radio telescope in Spain to observe the gas in the Horsehead Nebula. They made a big discovery. They found the Horsehead Nebula is slowly spinning. So, what's the most important idea about our big topic in this paragraph section? What was the most important idea about our big topic? All right. Clues in the waves. Here's how they did it. They observed changes in the radio waves from the Horsehead Nebula's gas. When an object that gives off radio waves is moving toward us, its radio waves get scrunched up a little, so they have a shorter wavelength than usual. We call this change to shorter waves a blue shift, because blue light waves are short. In contrast, when an object that gives off radio waves is moving away from us, its radio waves are stretched out, so they're longer than usual. We call this change to longer waves a redshift, because red light has a longer wavelength than blue light. You have probably heard blue shifts and red shifts because sound waves make them, too. When a fire truck races toward you and its siren's blaring, the siren's sound waves get scrunched up, making a shorter wavelength, and you hear a higher pitched siren, a blue shift. After the fire truck speeds by, the siren is moving away from you, so the sound waves get stretched out, making a longer wavelength, and the siren's pitch drops, a red shift. Compared with the horsehead's neck, the nose was scrunched up radio waves, a blue shift, so it's moving towards us. Part of the horse's mane has stretched out radio waves, a red shift, so it's moving away from us. Thus, the horse head is turning. It's as if the horse is trying to look our way. And how did this section connect to what we've read so far? Slowly turning. Astronomers estimate that the horse will take 4 million years to spin once. In contrast, the sun takes just a month to spin, and Earth takes just a day to spin. But the Horsehead Nebula is much bigger than the sun or Earth. Furthermore, the Horsehead spin may explain its unique shape. To see how, imagine riding a merry-go-round. Now imagine that merry-go-round started spinning really, really fast. It would fling you off. In the same way, the nebula's spin may be flinging out two pieces of gas and dust from the horse's neck. One piece has become the horse's nose, the other piece has become the horse's mane. So if the Horsehead Nebula were not spinning, probably wouldn't look like a horse. Then the nebula wouldn't be famous, and you wouldn't be reading this article, because it wouldn't exist. So right now I want you thinking about, with everything that you just read, what was the big topic of this essay, or of this article? So now that we've finished, you're going to be talking about what your genre-based thinking jobs were, and one of those is point of view. And I want you um, to be thinking about that because we've had problems with point of view in the past. Now, just remember that the author's point of view talks about what the author's viewpoint is, or the stance that the author takes on the topic, or their perspective. Okay? You want to think about the facts and the details given in the text. Why did the author give you those things? What were they trying to do to help you understand what they are saying? Okay? So think about that while you're doing your questions, while you're writing your main idea, which also remember it's not just one sentence, it's what is the topic, text teaching, the point of view, and then your race response. All right, thanks guys, and stay tuned for the next story to come tomorrow.